Welcome to F major added second chord. I'm Miles. I'm your host. My voice is a little raggedy for reasons which I hope to explain shortly. I'm going to talk about something that happened recently. Occasionally I talk about recent things. Sometimes I talk about distant things. Today it's a recent thing. I go to college and we have these traditions. And one of these traditions is a scavenger hunt. And one of the items in the scavenger hunt every year is you can go to the medical center, the medical college, the medical school is a college, and have your blood drawn, to donate to blood banks and so on. The med school loves it. They get a lot of blood out of it. We love it because it lets us look good and accumulate points at the same time. I participated until a couple hours ago recently in my first of these scavenger hunts. It was my first one, and I thought, well, I can't really guarantee that I'm going to be much useful. I don't know what the list is. I don't know what the things I'm going to have to do are. I know I can give blood. I have good blood. I think I have O-type blood. I'm reasonably confident that I have O-type blood. And O-type blood, anyone can have O-type blood transfused into them. Anyone can get those transfusions. I'm useful. I serve a purpose. So I resolve to donate blood both to the greater good and also the more selfish good of my team. Now, what follows is a comedy of errors. The event starts, the scavenger hunt proper starts on Wednesday, but it starts Wednesday night, and I want to be able to participate eagerly, and I know that if I donate blood, I will be weakened somewhat. And I want to be able to be on my full powers, my full potential for the active part of the week. So I said I'll go Monday. So I go to the medical school on Monday, and I've been told where it is, but almost I'm not sure. Do I remember where it is? I get to the building, and I just stare at it. And there's no sign, saying scavenger hunt blood drive, go here. So I think, is this the right place? I don't know if this is the right place. I've had, that big meal they say I should have, but I don't know if, and I get nervous. And I talk about how I get nervous, and I get so nervous and so uncertain that rather than just going in and asking for the right place, I turn around and go home. Because there's always tomorrow. I can go tomorrow. So it's not urgent. I still have time. So I go away, and the next day I steel up my nerve, and I go into the place. I jog there, which may or may not be important to the story. I jog there, and I show up, and I am in the right place. I've double checked. So I go up to the second floor of this building in the medical school, and I go over to the blood donation room, and I say, I'd like to give blood for the scavenger hunt. And they have me fill out these forms. Filling out the forms is always, interesting, because I'm healthy, so I don't think about being unhealthy. So all these things, like these questions they ask you. Have you ever been hospitalized? When was the last time you did drugs? Have you ever shared a needle? It's like, no. And I just keep checking, no, I don't have a latex allergy. No, I've never had my blood drawn before. No, I've never had tuberculosis. It's a long string of no's and the occasional yes when it requires me to say that I'm healthy. And then, of course, I skip the questions where it asks if I'm pregnant, because that's what one does. And I fill out this entire questionnaire, and I read the attached materials on what happens when you get your blood drawn. And I go into the room, and they take, some tests. They test my hemoglobin, and they're impressed by the amount of blood that comes out when they prick my fingers. Those go easily, they say. And they check they put this thing in my ear like a thermometer, I think, see if I have a fever. And they put on the blood pressure sleeve, and I have good blood pressure. All this stuff is good. But the last test, my pulse. I don't realize that I'm nervous. Or maybe I do realize, but it's not a head nervous. Mentally, I am focused and I am calm. But physically, I was hovering about 115 beats per minute, which is fairly fast. My heart just kind of... Okay, not that fast, but fast enough that they were like, wait a minute. Because you can't give blood if your pulse is too fast. The nurse was really nice and really understanding. So I was like, tell you what, let's take a minute, let's try it again. So I breathe in deeply and I breathe out. And I breathe in deeply and I breathe out. And then she puts the cuff on again. And my pulse is 120 beats per minute. It gets faster. Because now I'm nervous. I mean, I was nervous before, but now I have performance anxiety. I'm like, oh, I gotta do this right or else I won't be able to give the blood and I'll let my team down. And I freak out a little, and this makes my pulse increase because now I have to perform under pressure. I do not. I perform reasonably well under pressure, but I don't enjoy it. It's just annoying because I'm still mentally prepared for the giving of blood, but wait, you can't do it yet, she says. Let's tell you what, have some water, just take 5 minutes. Go to your happy place, she tells me. So I go to my dorm room for my first year of college and do this entire memory palace exercise. Try not to think about how nervous I am. Except when I get to my room, I start thinking about mistakes. I think about the one time I pulled the drawer all the way out and I had to get my roommate to fix it because I couldn't figure out how to get the ball bearings to work again. I think about the one time I pulled the drapes too far and I just let the drapes stay down for several months because I couldn't figure out how to pull them back up until eventually my roommate fixed it again. I don't know if that contributes to the fact that my nervousness, or if it was a product of my nervousness, or just the consequence of the fact that I'm a klutz. Anyway, when she comes back, at this point, then the machine breaks. And it's like, okay, I guess I don't know what to do, she says. They don't know what to do with me. They give me a 24-hour stay. They tell me, go back and you can come back in not even 24 hours. Just not 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, sure. So I show up about 22 hours later. I'm ready. I'm mentally ready. I've been mentally ready. But I get out there and like, wait, let me just check. So I take my own pulse and I measure it against my stopwatch. And already, I haven't even stepped in the room to start filling out the paperwork, and I'm already hovering in the 105 to 115 range. And I know when I actually get in the room, I'm going to just get even more nervous. I was like, wait, I have to calm myself down. So I just stand. I'm in the building, and I'm standing outside the door of the room. And I stand there for a good 5-10 minutes, just trying to calm down, trying to go to my happy place, trying to breathe deeply. And my pulse just isn't going down. I'm just too nervous. And eventually I'm like, this just isn't happening. So I went home for the 3rd day in a row without giving blood. When the actual scavenger hunt rolled around, of course, I was able to contribute enthusiastically and liberally to the team. No such reservations as I had feared I would have, but I mean, yeah. That was a barrel of laughs and a half while it lasted. I'm glad I was, not just a burden who just was stymied from ever being able to be helpful by not being able to give blood. It just sort of speaks to the sort of person I am, really. The nurse thought I was, oh, you're very calm. I was like, yeah, I guess I am. And then she took my pulse and she's like, oh, you're not calm at all. But hey, what you gonna do? I would have liked to give blood. I would have liked to give blood. I need to exercise more so I can get my resting heart rate lower so that when I get nervous, it doesn't go as high. Because as it is, I think that my pulse is fast enough resting that when I get nervous, there's nowhere for it to go but up. I don't know how. You know how it is, right? So yeah, I'll exercise and this one day I'll give blood. Maybe next year. That'll be not really a New Year's resolution or something. Give blood. Get in shape and give blood. That's a plan, isn't it? That's a good plan. That's all I got, actually. This ridiculous chain of events that happened in my own life. Anyway, have a nice week. Those of you who can give blood, do so. It's a noble thing. I wish I could do it. In the future, perhaps. Anyway, peace.